Hi, and welcome to Mere Christianity. I'm your host, Eric Smith. The name of this is I'm a Christian, so now what? A lot of people go through the motions and become Christians, and then what happens afterwards? What are we supposed to do? Well, the Bible does have a few words about this, and I just wanted to go into it with you for just a few minutes. In Matthew 16:24, it says, "In the same way, any of you who does not give up everything, he cannot be my disciple." Wow. Now that is some tough stuff. Giving up everything. Does that mean you need to just go out and sell everything and get rid of it? Live without any kind of things around you, turn off the television and everything else? I don't think that's what it means. In Ephesians 5:25 through 27, it says, "Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her, that he might sanctify her, having cleansed her by the washing of the water with the word, so that he might present the church to himself in splendor, without spot or wrinkle or any such thing, that she might be holy, without blemish." You know, Jesus wants us kind of as a wife, and this is really hard concept for guys to deal with because, you know, we don't want to think that's kind of gay sounding. But you need to look at it more in a spiritual wife type situation. In 2 Corinthians, it also talks about, in the 2 Corinthians 11 and the second verse, it says, "For I feel a divine jealousy for you, since I betrothed you to one husband, to present you as a pure virgin to Christ." Now this was one of the apostles actually talking to the church, presenting those that he had brought to Christianity as a pure virgin of Christ. Now, all of these concepts are hard to understand, but when I was teaching my 6th graders, I had this story that explained this very thing, and I want to share it with you. The story is about a prince and a young maiden, and the prince saw the young maiden and he fell in love with her. He loved her so much that he wanted her for his own. So finally he came to her and asked her, "Will you be my bride?" And she said, "Oh yes, I will. I would love to." So then they went through all of the ceremonies. They went through preparation for the big day, and then there was the big day, and the marriage went off without a hitch. It was great. It was perfect. And then they walked out of the church to get into the carriage to leave, and they both looked at each other in love, and she said, "Take me home." And he said, "Oh yes, I've got a special place for you. I've got everything worked out, our whole lives. You're going to love it." And she said, "No, you don't understand. Take me home." And the prince looked a little confused. And he said, "What do you mean?" She says, "Take me where I live. Take me back home." And he says, "No, we're going to be together." She said, "I tell you what, this is what we'll do. How about if I get together with you every Sunday, on your birthday, and on special days that are to you, and we come together, and we love each other then. But then on those other days, just don't call, leave me alone, and let me be." The prince was very, very, very hurt by this. And he let his new wife have what she wanted, and she went home, and they celebrated his birthday every year. Every Sunday they got together for an hour, and on special days they would get together for an hour, maybe 2, even sometimes 3 hours. But still, most of the time she stayed at home, and she lived the life that she had lived before. Now, finally, the prince became the king, and the wife wanted to be part of this new royalty, and so she walked up to the palace, and she went into the main throne room, and she asked to be seen by her husband. And of course, he let her in. She walked up to him, and she touched his scepter. She got down on the ground, and she prostrated herself, and then she stood back up. And she said, "I am your wife. I am ready to be queen now. I am ready to take royalty alongside of you." Now, I know you're ready for a punchline. I know you're ready for me to say, okay, now the end of the story is this, and what we get from this is. But the question is, it just depends on what denomination you are, to be honest with you. The Catholics would tell you that maybe he would not have anything to do with you, whereas some of the other Protestants might say, well, he would open up with open arms. But do you really want to take that chance? Do you really want to live a partial life with Christ, and then on that day when he takes his throne, do you really want to ask to be part of the royal line? Are you ready for that? This concludes Mere Christianity. I'm Derek Smith. God bless you.